I didn't slam the door, I closed it carefully. That's how you know I meant it.
You were still mid-sentence when I realized you'd already left. Not physically, you were right there, but your eyes, it started packing weeks ago. We became polite, and polite is dangerous. Polite is what happens when love starts wearing shoes and doors. You stopped arguing, I stopped asking. We called it mature. It was just distance with good posture. There's a tone people use when they're halfway out. I heard it.
You didn't know I heard it.
The last thing I said is the last thing I said was softer than goodbye. It didn't shake the walls, didn't even make you cry. The last thing I said didn't sound like defeat, but it carried the weight of choosing me. And if silence had a shape, it would look like that night. Two people standing still, avoiding unknown.
We got good at scheduling affection, calendar invites for connection. You'd hold my hand like a habit, not a decision. There were cracks in the rhythm, tiny ones, the kind you ignore until the song won't loop anymore.
You kept saying we're fine, and I kept translating that into we're fading just slowly.
You didn't fight for me, you negotiated.
The last thing I said, the last thing I said was steady and clear. No trembling voice, no dramatic tears. The last thing I said wasn't meant to win. It was the first time I didn't fold. And you looked surprised, like love was a game. You thought I'd keep playing just to stay.
No fire, no crash, just gravity doing what it does.
I loved you deeply, that's what made it hard. Not because you were cruel, because you were comfortable, and comfort can't erase a person without meaning to. I started disappearing in small ways, laughing less, needing less, saying less, until one day there wasn't enough of me left to stay. What would have happened if you had noticed? If you had said don't go, not like this?
Would I have turned around? Maybe that's the part I don't like admitting.
Because strength isn't always leaving. Sometimes it's realizing you've already been alone.
You called it timing, I called it truth. You called it space, I called it proof that love without choosing is just proximity.
The last thing I said was louder than sound. It echoed for miles without making a pound. The last thing I said wasn't I'm done. It was I deserve someone who stays without being
I didn't slam the door, I closed it carefully. That's how you know I meant it. I didn't slam the door, I closed it carefully. That's how you know I meant it. still mid-sentence when I realized you'd already left. Not physically, you were right there, but your eyes had started packing weeks ago. We became polite, and polite is dangerous. Polite is what happens when love starts wearing shoes indoors. You stopped arguing, I stopped asking. We called it mature, it was just distance with good posture. There's a tone people use when they're halfway out. I heard it, you didn't know I heard it. The last thing I said was softer than goodbye. It didn't shake the walls, didn't even make you cry. The last thing I said didn't sound like defeat, but it carried the weight of choosing me. And if silence had a shape, it would look like that night. Two people standing still, a boy in the light.
We got good at scheduling affection. Calendar invites for connection. You hold my hand like a habit, not a decision. There were cracks in the rhythm, tiny one, the kind you ignore until the song won't loop anymore. You kept saying, we're fine, and I kept translating that into we're
Fading, just slowly.
You didn't fight for me, you negotiated.
The last thing I said was steady and clear. No trembling voice, no dramatic tears. The last thing I said wasn't meant to win. It was the first time I didn't fold in.
You looked surprised like love was a game. You thought I'd keep playing just to stay.
No fire, no crash, just gravity doing what it does. I loved you deeply, that's what made it hard. Not because you were cruel, because you were comfortable, and comfort can erase a person without meaning to. I started disappearing in small ways, laughing less, needing less, saying less, until one day there wasn't enough for me left to stay.
What would have happened if you had noticed? If you had said, don't go, not like this? Would I have turned around? Maybe that's the part I don't like admitting. Because strength isn't always leaving. Sometimes it's realizing you've already been alone. You called it time and I called it truth. You called it space, I called it proof.
That love without choosing is just proximity.
The last thing I said was louder than sound. It echoed for miles without making a pound. The last thing I said wasn't I'm done. It was I deserve someone who stays without being convinced. The last thing I said
Was the bravest I've been,
the last thing I said.
and I meant it. I didn't slam the door, I closed it carefully. That's how you know I meant it. I used to tremble at raised voices, used to mistake volume for authority, used to fold my edges to fit into rules that were never built for me. I learned early approval is rented, it can be withdrawn without warning. So I built something no one could evict me from. Not a wall, not a mask, a foundation. You can't threaten someone who it's already faced their own collapse. When the pressure came, I didn't scatter, I became the ground. When the sky leaned down heavy and loud,
There were nights I questioned my own reflection, turned down my instincts to keep the peace. Smiled through dismissal, translated disrespect into misunderstanding. But clarity is patient, it waits. And one day I stopped negotiating with doubt. I stopped shrinking to look agreeable. I stopped calling survival love. Strength isn't loud, it's consistent. When the weight arrived without permission, I became the ground. When promises cracked under tension, I became the ground. No dramatic exit, no spectacle sound, just quiet refusal to be moved around. When the storm expected to take me down, I became the ground. Push, pull, test the line. I'm still here, I've lost people who thought I'd chase, lost rooms that thrived on control. They mistook patience for weakness, calm for compliance. But I was observing, learning the architecture of power. And power isn't dominance, it's self-trust under pressure. You can raise your voice, I won't rise to it. You can question my word, I won't shrink to fit it. I know what I carry, I know what I built. You cannot destabilize someone who stopped outsourcing their center. Let it shake, let it press, let it down, let it test. Every fracture taught me form, every failure rewrote the norm. I am not standing because nothing hits, I'm standing because I withstand. When the ceiling fell and pieces around, I became the ground. When certainty slipped without a sound,